Welcome back, Nerd Squad, to Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and if you happen to be new here, we cover all things Marvel, DC, and nerd adjacent, so tap that subscribe button to see more. Plus, leave us a comment down below who you think will be the villain in Black Panther 2. The first film gave us a few main antagonists that were pretty evenly matched with T'Challa, so we're interested in seeing who will take over that role for the sequel. That's why today we'll be breaking down the top 10 villains that we want to see in Black Panther 2. Plus, make sure you stay all the way until the end because you won't believe who we picked for our number one spot. In at number 10, M'Baku. After T'Challa took Wakanda public, thus putting not just himself but his entire nation out there for the world to see, you gotta wonder if anyone will oppose this. I'm sure because Wakanda has been a secret society for so long that there will no doubt be a xenophobic reaction from some people, namely M'Baku, who we saw fighting with Black Panther throughout the beginning before reluctantly coming to his aid to take down Killmonger. Lord M'Baku is the leader of the Jabari tribe, which is a group of Wakandans that have taken themselves out of the mainstream society in Wakanda. After the dust has settled from the war with Thanos and his homeland now in the public eye, we sense it will result in some resistance from people like M'Baku in the next film, possibly even setting him up to be the main villain. In at number 9, Soul Strangler. Much like how the MCU introduced us to Marvel's versions of Nazis through the use of the evil organization known as Hydra, Black Panther has also faced a similar threat in the comics. On occasion, Black Panther has found himself fighting with the KKK and their red-hooded leader, the Soul Strangler. Typically, the KKK are based in America for the Marvel comic books, but due to their racist motivations, they've taken a swing at Wakanda from time to time. With T'Challa now introducing Wakanda to the rest of the world, and specifically starting inner-city reach-out centers in the United States, you have to wonder if this will cause some grumblings in the terrorist group known as the KKK. More specifically, their super-powered leader, the Soul Strangler. In at number 8, CHANGAMIRE. CHANGAMIRE was once a Wakandan philosopher who was close to the throne after being handpicked to tutor King T'Chaka and his royal court. Although he's not some superpowered alien villain here to conquer the world, he has done harm to T'Challa in the past. His motivations for attacking Black Panther are deep-rooted ever since he was exiled by T'Chaka for being anti-monarchical. While in exile, he worked tirelessly to urge members of Wakandan's mainstream society to not just rebel, but to take over the country and dethrone the Black Panther. We may never see the old man go into war, but rather being the puppet master behind the scenes who incites war and instructs another villain as his proxy. With Wakandan citizens divided since the first film, this would be the perfect time to introduce some anarchy into this society. In at number 7, NIGHTSHADE. Briefly hinted at in the first Black Panther as NIGHTSHADE being the girlfriend of Killmonger, but no mention of her name, the role of NIGHTSHADE playing the villain is still possible and has motivations already set up for her. Much like Killmonger, Tilda Johnson has a deep history of fighting her way out of the ghettos of America by learning how to be a skilled fighter with a high level of intelligence. Tilda is considered to be one of the smartest people on the planet and has been able to construct weapons and devices to assist in her criminal activities. We also got an introduction to her character in the show Luke Cage. Even though Killmonger was a physical issue for Black Panther, ultimately T'Challa outsmarted him. However, if NIGHTSHADE was the villain for Black Panther 2, she could hold her own in fights as well as strategizing a takeover. In at number 6, the SKRULLS. The evil alien shapeshifters made a big splash as the villain for Captain Marvel, which was set in the 1990s. Now with their official introduction into the MCU, you gotta wonder if they will make a return for Phase 4. Given the history that the SKRULLS and Black Panther have in the comic books, they certainly would have a lot to go off of story-wise for the film. In the comic books, while T'Challa was away from Wakanda, the SKRULLS had moved in as part of their secret invasion. Recently, we just had the King of Wakanda away from his throne after being snapped away and was gone for at least 5 years. This could be a perfect setup to have T'Challa return home only to realize that something is different in Wakanda. Also, it would be an excellent starting point to begin the secret invasion storyline. For the comic books, Black Panther was able to suss out who was a Skrull and who wasn't, and he studied the Skrulls to find their weaknesses and mannerisms. Following a full-out invasion from the Skrulls general, Black Panther infiltrated by posing as one of them. Seeing this terrific arc come to life on the big screen would be huge. In at number 5, Princess Zanda. Ruling over the world of Nairobia, introducing Princess Zanda as the next villain would play nicely along the regal heritage that the first film really explored with Wakanda. Having two technologically advanced nations going to war over the vibranium that Wakanda has would kinda make sense. Not only would Black Panther have to worry about the power of Zanda, but he would also have to consider the threat that her followers would pose as well to his own people. It would be like Game of Thrones but Marvel style. And if you combine the assistance of CHANGAMIRE, Black Panther would be in serious trouble. In at number 4, KRAVEN the Hunter. Another villain for the Black Panther sequel is classic Spider-Man bad guy KRAVEN the Hunter. In the Spider-Man comics, KRAVEN attempts to prove that he is the world's greatest hunter by taking out the web-slinger, but we have yet to see him make a peep in any of the previous films. Ryan Coogler has said in a number of different interviews that he would love to snag KRAVEN for a Black Panther film, although due to Sony owning KRAVEN, it's going to take a lot of back and forth agreements between Disney and Sony to have him in the film. There is the possibility that we get a mention or brief teaser scene of KRAVEN, which would actually help set him up for a larger role in the next Spider-Man film. However, they have worked out deals in the past with heroes such as Spider-Man and the Hulk, so with the right convincing, KRAVEN could become a reality. In at number 3, HELMUT ZEMO.
I'm sorry about your father. He seemed a good man, with a dutiful son.
We haven't seen Zemo since the ending of Captain America Civil War, where he left us with some pretty cryptic lines of dialogue. After Black Panther had spared his life, he was imprisoned in a tiny container at the Joint Counter-Terrorist Center. While being mocked by Everett Ross, he warned Zemo that if he ever tried to escape, he would receive a painful shock. Ross then proceeded to ask Zemo what it felt like to see his plan fail, for which Zemo simply replied, "Did it?" Even with Zemo admitting that he had killed T'Challa's father, the Black Panther realized that using vengeance as fuel was no way to live. Although letting him off the hook like that may have been a misstep. Seeing as though the idea of legacy plays a big role in Black Panther, it would make sense if the man who killed the Wakandan king returned to finish what he started. Plus, it would allow the MCU to expand further on his character development. In at number 2, Dr. Doom. Another villain for the Black Panther sequel that we would love to see is Dr. Doom. Before Disney purchased Fox, there was even rumors of the evil Dr. Doom getting his very own film, although since the buyout happened, a lot of those plans were thrown out. On the bright side of things, this could mean Doom getting an opportunity as the main antagonist for Black Panther 2. The two have gone head to head in the past, and Doom's appearance would certainly put his home of Latveria in the spotlight and perhaps, maybe, even introduce the Fantastic Four? I mean, how cool would that be? Much like Wakanda, Latveria is an advanced society, although one that is ruled by Doom's dictatorship rather than a family of royals. Keeping that in mind, if Doom teamed up with another powerful nation that opposes Wakanda, for example, Nairobia, then we could get an all-out war with two countries looking to overthrow the Black Panther. Lastly, in our number 1 spot, and thank you for staying, Namor. During the scene in Avengers Endgame where Black Widow is getting a status report from the other Avengers, Okoye mentions something about a series of sub-oceanic earthquakes that were occurring off the coast of Africa. When Natasha asks if they need to be handled, Okoye simply says that there's nothing that can be done about tectonic shifts, and then the movie just moves on. We, on the other hand, did not. This subtle line in the movie could be hinting towards Namor the Submariner's introduction, and similar subtle lines in the past have led to on-screen debuts of villains. Much like how the Infinity Gauntlet was joked about in Thor Ragnarok before we actually got to see Thanos. This line could mean that we will get to see battles between Wakanda and Atlantis where Namor is not only from but rules over. Although ultimately again it's gonna come down to getting the rights for Namor from Universal Pictures. Namor would be great as a villain as well. He's not just a villain though. In one case he actually teamed up with T'Challa, which led to Shuri taking over as the new Black Panther, so there's a lot that they could do with this character. And that has been the top 10 villains that we want to see in Black Panther 2. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video then show us some love by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, leave us a comment down below if you agree or disagree with any of our choices, and if you have any additional villains that you want to throw into the mix, let me know down in the comments below. I always try to read them. Plus, to take part in our latest contest and for behind the scenes content, don't forget to check out Top 10 Nerd Official on Instagram, and for more videos like this one, just click that playlist on the screen. From Top 10 Nerd, I'm Johnny Rogers. Until next time, take care.